Hello and welcome to Cat Yak, where everything's controlled by evil cats. My name's Beast. I'm a servant of the evil feline horde and your host. So let's get started. Supreme Commander Cinder says that I've been being extra well behaved as of late, and thus she has given me access back to the secret basement. That also gives me access back to my Endless Quest adventure books. So, today's literary adventure takes us back to the Endless Quest book series with Book 4, Return to Brookmere. This book is once again written by Rose Estes, with cover illustrations by Larry Elmore and illustrations by Timothy Truman. My review copy is the second edition, which was printed in July of 1982 by TSR. The book has 153 pages, including illustrations, and 12 endings. Unfortunately, it only took me one read-through to get to a good ending, so I have to give this book a 1 out of 10 for difficulty. And I said good ending because this book really doesn't have happy endings. The cover depicts a rat-like creature sitting on top of a throne. Below him is a large group of what appear to be goblins, as well as a few furry beastmen. In the lower left corner, we see a strawberry blonde male elf wearing a chainmail shirt, a purple outer coat, a blue cape, a yellow gold pendant, and he's brandishing a sword and a shield. So, based off the picture and the title of the book, Return to Brookmere, it looks like we're going to be in for a storming / retaking the castle type of story, most likely where we get to be the hero and defeat the bad guy. So let's turn to the back cover and see what it has to tell us. You are Brian, an elf prince on a scouting mission for your father, the king. Turn the pages of this Endless Quest book for many new and exciting adventures. When it comes time for action, you decide, will you fight the monsters that rush you from the dark castle corridors? Will you try to trick the evil were-rat ruler who controls the family castle? Or will you run into the unknown down another corridor? The thrills and challenges don't stop with the first read. You can ask yourself, what if I'd done it a different way? And read the book again to find out. In every Endless Quest book, you pick the path you want and find your own adventure. Only if you succeed can you return to Brookmere. The choices are yours. Well, the back cover seems to support my idea about what the story is, but what do we actually get? Surprisingly, though, the story isn't actually so straightforward. Yes, you are an elf whose father was once king of Brookmere. The castle was taken over by a were-rat and his minions when you were a child. And yes, you along with a small group are going back to the castle to investigate what remains. But this is where the story takes a detour. You're not actually planning on doing a guerrilla-style assault on the castle. You're only there to do a reconnaissance mission so that you can come back later with a larger force to retake the castle. In fact, you don't even get to fight the were-rat ruler. Sure, you get to see him, but there's nothing you can actually do with him. And like I said, this book really doesn't have a happy ending per se. There's good endings where you leave the castle and are able to return later. This book truly feels like it comes from an old school Dungeons & Dragons adventure, with the use of the different species, races, and even the enemy monsters to help boost the immersion. My story, when I read it, kind of followed a simple path. Once I arrived at the location, close to the castle, the trail and a nearby wall collapsed. I fell into a deep hole and awoke sometime later, only to discover that the rest of my party members had been crushed by rubble. I waited around a while to process the information about what just happened when the amulet I wore around my neck starts talking to me. The mouth of Mimulus, or Mim as it likes to be called, is an interesting character. On one hand, it's both whiny and annoying, and on the other, it's actually useful and provides some helpful information. I follow Mim's instructions and head down a series of corridors until we found a hidden room. Inside the room, you meet Mazhas, a supernatural creature called an invisible stalker. What follows is a memorable scene involving this creature discovering that the master it has been waiting to wake up is actually dead. After that, I stepped on a teleporter and was sent deeper into the castle. And that's how I ended up finding Fang the giant were-rat, the creature that stormed the castle all that time ago, talking to its minions. Unfortunately, there's nothing I could do at the moment, so I disguised myself as one of the goblins and wander off deeper into the castle. Until that is, I stumble upon an 8-foot-long weasel. The weasel apparently reminds me of one I had as a child that I used to call Cecil. Thankfully, the talking weasel recognized me, and together we hatch a plan to have the other weasels help the elves when they return to retake the castle. I then head home, stopping just quickly to kill off a few goblin guards on my way out. There are several more memorable scenes in other paths. Some include a hill giant bowling, a kobold with a cold, and naughty goblin and kobold children. I complained a lot about Rose Estes' writing in previous books about how she really liked to write long stretches of the book and give you few choices here and there. This book has that problem too, but thankfully, because of the uniqueness of the story, it doesn't seem to drag as much as some of the earlier titles. For a lot of people, this is the book out of the entire series that they remember the most. And with the classic D&D feel and the great illustrations by Timothy Truman, I can completely understand why. Overall, I enjoyed the book. It tried to be a strong adventure story, just not the story most people would expect. Having your character not be the one to strike down the great evil was an interesting twist that you don't usually see. I give Return to Brookmere 2.5 paws out of 5.